okay? You know, sometimes grace and coordination skip a generation.
So hey guys, so you just saw a clip there from Full House. Bob Saget. Yes. The legendary comedian Bob Saget, who, you know, passed away just recently. Found in his hotel room. Passed away. And yes, so what this stream is about, we're going to honor Bob Saget, legendary comedian, by talking about Full House and what Full House meant to families around the world and how instrumental Full House's show was to our growth and development, and how Danny Tanner was one of sitcom's belovable fathers figures out there, from a guy who was not originally supposed to be playing Danny Tanner. And with guys, I will be inviting people, so hold your horses. Let me get my mic settled in. But he was not originally supposed to be playing Danny Tanner. I was supposed to go to another actor because they couldn't get they couldn't get Bob Saget at the time. But when they were available, sometime Saget became available, and they were able to get him. They did 2 pilot episodes, one with the other actor that they had shoot with them, and then one with Bob Saget, and they went with the one Bob Saget because that's the guy who they wanted Bob Saget. And if anybody's free, they're allowed to come on. And they took a look at both pilot episodes, and they decided to go with Bob Saget. They didn't want him, and I saw some of the pilot with the other guy. The other guy was the actor from, I believe, the father of Michael J. Fox and Teen Wolf. I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, and I saw that version of it, the pilot episode, and then I saw, and I'm like, yeah, this guy doesn't have any chemistry. It was off with. There was something off with him with the kids, Jesse and Joey, John Stamos, and Dave Cooley. John Stamos, of course, is Uncle Jesse. Dave Cooley is Joey. Sorry if I had a little cramp there for a second. Brain cramp. Sorry about that. I should have known that. And yeah, that was a smart choice by going with Bob Saget to play Danny Tanner. Now, the premise of the show, right? We know, and how the premise of the show, right? Is as in my description. Danny Tanner, Bob Saget's character, Full House. It's a riddle. First episode, they give us right away he's a riddle. The father of 3 young girls, DJ, Stephanie, and baby Michelle, as we all know, is played by both Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. And you got, as I said, John Stamos, who plays Uncle Jesse. the brother-in-law of Danny Tanner. His sister is the one, Pam Tanner. That's the sister that is the one that passed away. It's the mother of his nieces, which is Danny Tanner's kids. And you got Dave Coulier, who is a jokester. Somebody who likes to make people laugh. Is the best friend of Danny Tanner. And this show, like a lot of 80s shows and 70s shows, sitcoms were about, yeah, they were meant to be funny, but there's a lot of development and growth for serious issues that come up in real life that we all go through at times. I know there's no like, you could say this is for mostly for the women in terms of the girls, because a lot of stuff the girls deal with, boys don't have to deal with as much because they're kids. But he saw a lot but it also helped development for Danny Tanner, where he has to move on from his ex. Also, John Stamos has Jesse is a tough macho guy, doesn't like to be hugged. Elvis freak, loves his hair, and he has to learn to. He grows a lot. He was a ladies' man in the first season. It didn't. Over time, he became more mature, more caring. He grew less insecure. Found the love of his life. His wife, obviously Lori Loughlin, who comes in the second season, plays Rebecca Donaldson, future wife. Becomes a married man, has kids, and he matures over time. Same with Dave Coulier. Yeah, he's always there, the funny guy, but Dave Coulier always had problems with his parents, specifically his father. He was always he was insecure, so sometimes people would think he's a joke. But over time, he matures, but he still likes to make people laugh. And then you see the girls grow up over time. You see DJ, the oldest of the three. She's the one that spent most of the time the mother. So of the three, she knew the mother the best. With her passing, DJ was in that junior, beginning preteen, almost preteen. She was maybe about 10 or 11 around the time of her mother passing. And you got Stephanie, the middle child, the one who's about 3 or 4 at the time, who knew her mother very much for a few years, but didn't get a chance to do some of the things that DJ got to do with her mother. And then you got Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, the baby, who was just born. And obviously, Michelle never knew her mother. I mean, she knows of her mother, but she never spent any time with her mother. So she really didn't have a life with her mother. She just knows about her mother. And her mother loves her very much, obviously. So she didn't experience anything that Stephanie and DJ experienced with their mother. That's why Rebecca Donaldson became an instrumental part of the team, to have a female perspective, because, well, Danny Tanner's a father. There's only so much he could do, because sometimes for this is like your everyday life. Sometimes, if you have daughters, you need a female adult to talk to the girls about certain stuff, and you need him, right? And that's why Rebecca Donaldson has become instrumental, because there's some things that she understands better as a woman that Danny Tanner can't explain. And while she's her aunt, she became more than an aunt, obviously, as the seasons went on, more like a mother figure to them, while she had her own kids with Jesse. And guys, here's my you know what? I'm gonna put the StreamYard link in the chat too, if you all want to join. If you're all watching. And I'm gonna pin it. So if you want to join, hit me up on StreamYard. There we go. And this show also was around the same time as Family Matters, which Family Matters got a little, let's say, a little out there with Steve, with some of the stuff as later seasons went on, but Family Matters had the same kind of stuff, except in a different way, with a African American, a family with Carl Winslow, the son, Laura, etc. Like, and Steve made a guest appearance on Full House. And there's a lot of things about stealing, growing up, boys, dating, sex, even abuse. Family issues, family problems, also bullying, heartache. Well, there's a lot of more. Feeling self-doubt about yourself, ambition. There's a lot of things in this show that sitcoms, especially back in the day, I don't think sitcoms these days do a good job of underlying certain serious issues in everybody's daily life. Like sitcoms back then relate to us people in everybody's daily life. And you see that's my closet. And I thought Danny Tanner playing the father of the three girls. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to play. I mean, yeah, he had help with the three boys, his brother-in-law and his best friend. But really, even they can't do things that a dad can do, right? And he did have issues of himself. Of course, he lost his wife. He had, fell in love again. His problems with cleaning. He has, I guess you could say, OCD. He's obsessed with cleaning. No bit of jealousy. He always gets, egged on for being not cool, too boring, not funny, or not good at sports, stuff like that, or not good at anything. It's just stuff like that. And as you see, right? And I think he is very, he's what he did for Jesse. I think him and Rebecca are one of the reasons, and him and Jesse living his nieces, But I think he's one of the reasons Jesse grew and became a responsible adult, you could say. I guess you could say. Who, Jesse in turn became a great friend. Brother-in-law. Jesse became a brother-in-law to a friend to basically brother. And it's the same. Brother. You can, I'll say it to a point, brothers. Same with Joey. Joey was always there to make him laugh. Danny Tanner laugh and his kids laugh. Because sometimes in a time of need, when you're grieving, laughter is a good thing. You need somebody there to make you feel good, And then everything is hopeless and negative and depressing. And Joey is there for that. Joey, you can see Joey it might not be serious at times, but he knows he knows that laughter brings out the good. He loves making people laugh because laughing, everybody wants to laugh. Because when you laugh, you feel good, right? You feel good when you laugh. He likes that. And as comedians, comedians have a lot of problems. But you see comedians, they go on stage, they talk about their problems because they love making people laugh. I know Robin Williams. Look, we all know the problems with Robin Williams. Unfortunately, he took his life in 2014, I believe. But he just loved making us laugh. Despite all his problems, despite the struggle he's going through up in his head mentally, he just loved making us laugh. And the show made me laugh. And it also made me felt for the characters too. Sadness, laughter, hope, family. No, family is not emotional, but there are people there for you no matter what happens. And to me, good sitcoms do a good job of underlining the themes about important issues that people go through in the real world. Meant to make you laugh, yes. Because laughter, it's medicine, right? You could say. Let's just take a look at this clip for fun. I'm just going to share something very fun. Okay? I may get hit for this, but I don't know. I'm just going to take a chance on it. I like this. It's funny.
Get raise energy. 1, 2, 3.
Because we can get around. Things they do look awful cold. Hope I die before
Yeah, I might get hit on that. I don't know. I might get hit on that. So I'm gonna end this share, okay? Well, that's pretty good, don't you think? His voice. That's pretty funny. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I watched Fuller House. The premise is kind of the same, but I didn't get the same feeling as I watched Full House. But that's a different story. But let's talk about Full House. So let's talk about some of the things we saw in Full House. Okay. Let's talk. Let's see. What are some good things? If you're in the chat, say something good. Say something you want to talk about. Okay, let's talk. Let's see. Let's see. I mean, there's Gibbler, an annoying friend. Kimmy Gibbler, DJ's friend, who annoys the hell of the Tanners. It's pretty funny. What's her name? Andrea Barber is the actress, right? Is her name Andrea? Yeah, I think so. Like Gibbler's funny. There's times where there was that one episode where DJ was dating a boy at the prom. He went to the prom with, and the boys and a bunch of other boys had snuck in beer, and he asked her to hold the can, and Jesse walked in and saw DJ with a can of beer, and she thought she was drinking it, and he wouldn't listen to her. He automatically assumed that she was the one drinking the beer, even though she was holding the can, but she was not drinking the beer. And then later on, the boy told her that it was him who. Jesse apologized. And the reason is because what killed they killed the mother was a drunk driver crashed into a drunk driver responsible for the mother's death. So I understand why Jesse got very upset with DJ holding a beer even though she didn't drink it, because that's alcohol played a part of why his sister and DJ's mother passed away because of a drunk crashing an incident killing the mother. So, yeah, I understand why Jesse would get upset. He didn't because of that. He was thinking about no, you shouldn't do. I think that was important. Obviously. Excuse me, I gotta fix this mic a bit. That was a good episode. I mean, I just read something funny. So I mean, I'm sorry. I just read something funny on Twitter. Critical drinker. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Want to talk about the crossover episode? It had what's her name? What's the name? Steve Urkel. So this episode featured Stephanie Tanner needing glasses, right? And you know the insult everybody gets from glasses, the four eyes, right? So Stephanie Tanner was afraid of being called four eyes at school, being teased about it, bullied about it, being called four eyes because she needs glasses to help her see. And you know Steve Urkel was a friend of Stephanie, is a cousin of Stephanie's friend. He comes in. He's annoying. He annoys the hell out of everybody at the house. But he's there to give wise words to Steve Urkel, to Stephanie McMahon about glasses, how to deal with it, and how if they joke about, just make a joke back, and instead of having them laugh at you, have them laugh with you or for you, or wherever. Make a joke back and have them laugh with you, or at your joke, where instead of them making fun of you, they accept you and accept you. And after Steve Urkel gave wise words to Stephanie how to deal with people like that you're afraid of being called four eyes if you have glasses. I thought that really was a good episode because I don't wear glasses. I don't need glasses. But who knows? Maybe in the future. I don't know. Maybe. But I know there's a lot of people who wear glasses. My parents, my friends on here, my friends where I live, family members. A lot of people wear glasses. And there's always that insult, there's always that fear of being called four eyes for needing four eyes. Because you're gonna need help to see. And you see what you're doing. Far distance, low distance, reading, whether it's reading glasses or whatever. There's always that fear of being mocked at for having glasses. When in reality, glasses is there to help you. Can you imagine a world where if we had no glasses? With spectacles or something. Spectacles. Just checking my phone for stuff. Do you have a Twitter, my friend? Sorry, I'm just looking. Okay. I'm back. I shouldn't be doing that. I know, I'm sorry. My mistake. You know what? I want to see if he wants in. I don't know if he's watched, but I'll give it to him. If you want. You know what? Maybe Brian wants in. If he's available. I'll have him in if you want. And Max. I'll just send out links. I don't care. What other episodes are there that are good? Oh, there's that one episode where Stephanie is being bullied at school by this boy, and they invite the boy over to work a project on, and it's revealed the reason for this kid's outburst at school, and he's always been known to come to school hurt and stuff. It's been revealed that his father's been abusing him, hitting him, and this boy was also the Mighty Ducks, but that's a different story. The first Mighty Ducks movie. But yeah, and this boy is being abused by his father, and he comes to school hurt, like badly hurt. You can see like scratches or bruises, and obviously he lies to the teacher about why he's hurt. Obviously gives a different reason what happened to him. He's afraid to admit his father hits him. That's all kids are. They're afraid of that. But what happens is Stephanie didn't understand why his father would do that, why his father would hit him. And the way they had to talk to her was like, how could they say this? How could they come up with something like, I can't really explain like that all fathers are good and not all parents are good people, something like that. Or his father has problems, issues, or something like that. That was a good episode. I mean, very solid episode. Very solid episode. There was a good episode. The season finale, season 1, episode 1, when Jesse dubs himself, decides to go back with his ex-girlfriend, and goes to the lodge, do some crazy stunts like he's done with a motorcycle or go snowboard. But this time he's at a lodge with a bunch of friends he knew to snowboard. Basically gives up, and then he kind of dubs himself in this. And they're the kids, and they try to get him back, and they say he feels like they don't need him, but the kids, Stephanie and DJ, say that Michelle's sick, and he's on the phone. He's like, "Michelle's sick?" He's like, he tells him that Michelle needs me, and he goes back, and of course they lied to him, but they all make him feel better that they do need him, that he is part of their family, and I think that helps him realize that he is important to them. It helps him grow as a character. And you see the first episode, season 2, Stephanie accidentally cut. It's because Jesse used to have really, really long hair, but in the first episode, season 2, Stephanie cut the long part of his hair until he had shorter hair. And you know Jesse's very protective of his hair, right? It's like, not the hair. Not to hear, people. Not to hear. Oh, that's not good. Oh, it's just something about the internet. It was a great episode, actually. It was a funny episode where Michelle kidnaps Teddy, because he didn't want Teddy to, because Teddy was moving, and that was her best friend, and he didn't want her to move, didn't want him to move, and she has to deal with loss against. Teddy does come back later on. He does move back later in the later seasons, but he does move on. All right, thank you. Teddy, is played by the kid who did a smart guy. I forget his name, but I know the actor is a smart guy. I really did like that. It's okay, Ambassador. Come on when you can. Teddy. And then she didn't want to make new friends, and she was when she goes to school. She couldn't make any new friends until she met this girl named Denise, and Denise. If you don't know who Denise is the actress who's playing Black Canary, in the DCU. That's the actress. Journey Smollett is the sister of the troublemaker brother, but she's Black Canary. Who would have thought Denise from Full House is Black Canary? Yeah, and I think it was her uncle was Little Witchy or something. Yeah, Denise became Michelle's new friend. There's a great Black Canary was in Full House. It's pretty funny. Ernie Hudson was also in Full House. Ernie Hudson was in the first season when Danny Tanner was a sports, I guess, interviewer. He was doing sports, right? Danny Tanner was doing sports before he became an co-host of Wake Up San Francisco with Becca Donaldson. But he was doing sports, and Ernie Hudson was playing a boxer. Hey George, you're allowed to come on. Anybody's allowed to come on. And he's interviewing, and Danny Tanner mentioned that his wife is divorcing him, and he didn't know about it, and that cost him the match. And he didn't care about the boxing match; he cared about his wife. Yeah, Ernie Hudson was in Full House. The thing is, Danny Tanner wasn't very good at sports commentating. I can tell you that. So we're gonna have people on soon. I know that. Like, share, subscribe if you want. I don't know how long ago. I'm gonna get people on. I was originally gonna do this video earlier, but I had to watch a Max's video on something not related to like this or anything. Which is interesting. I may not do Max's stream tonight. I don't even know what's about. I think it's just I don't know what's about because I plan on watching Peacemaker, the first 3 episodes. Let me see what the Max's stream is about. He might have updated it. No, he didn't update it. Yeah. I hope I wonder if there's a lot of Batgirl stuff because I'll get back to the stream, but there's a lot of Batgirl stuff coming over these past days and Nightwing stuff. Jason Bard rumors. Lex Luthor just came out. The thing about Lex Luthor, Vicky Vale, other things. There's a lot of Batgirl stuff going on this week. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, there has to be some. Either Warner Brothers is leaking this or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into conspiracy theories. I was gonna make a video on Batgirl too. I'm gonna release it tomorrow. Oh really? Oh man, that's hard. That's a lot of work to do, huh? And a Saturday, I plan to do a Peacemaker spoiler stream review. Spoilers, guys, spoilers. But I have to watch the first 3 episodes, so I may do that tonight. So don't spoil it for me. I know there's people already complaining about it, but you know, from a certain fan base. But overall, the impression I'm seeing that a lot of people like it, and the people that don't like it, yeah, you know who they are. But let's get back to Full House. I like I do like it when Joey and his estranged father make up. Because his father is was a colonel, a general, was in the military, but was highly ranked, and he was stern and always serious, and wanted Joey to be serious and always serious and follow his footsteps. He didn't approve of him being a comedian, a jokester, something like that. So that got them estranged with each other. That made them estranged. With each other, but they made up, and you know what? His father did appreciate him because his father did care about him, did make him laugh when he was young. It's just, you know, it was good. Remember, Joey is he was an upstanding comic. He was a struggling comic. He worked at clubs, you know, make whatever he can make. But he was trying to get, you know, farther in life with his jokes to be bigger than he is, just bigger than working just in clubs, you know. So that's why he goes on. That's why he went on these shows, or he did like the Ranger Joe, and the actor who played Ranger Joe, I think Ranger Joe, the original Ranger before him, was in Seinfeld. Was the father of, I think it was the father. Yeah, it was the father of Jerry. Played the father of Jerry, if I remember correctly. I know, I love Seinfeld too. I want to talk about Seinfeld one day, man, because that show still funny to this day. And there's a lot of stuff on Seinfeld, like, I don't know if he could do. And you know, he took over Major Joe, and then became like what? Co-host of the radio show with Jesse. Oh yeah, it was Jesse's advertising partner to make more money too. So him and Jesse went into business together, and they come up with advertising and jingles and jokes, you know, for commercials, obviously for commercials, for products to be sold, right, for the consumer to the consumer. Uh, And there was an episode. Whatever you think about Scott Bale, it doesn't matter here. Scott Bale would made a guest star as Jesse's old friend. Similar kind of stuff. Rebels, they like to rebel, they like the motorcycles, they like the kind of music. You know, more. And Jesse wanted to feel young again, like he's a daredevil, he's not afraid of anything. Rebecca says he's crazy. And Scott Bale tells him, Jesse, you have it good here. You have a good family. You have a good woman. You got everything. You got good life here. You told him, don't screw it up. Yeah, I mean, like, oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. And that was a sad episode. That's the thing about the show. It touches your heart, man. It gets to you. Yeah. Yes. Yes. I really like when I really like the episode. Oh, yeah, you must know what to do. I really like the episode when he had, I don't know who the actress was, but the actress was who played the mother for just like there was some mother for a little bit on the TV. She videotaped something, right? She videotaped. I think she was holding Michelle at the time, and she videotaped and talking about her daughters, Danny, Joey, and her brother Jesse. How remembering the good times, remembering her, honoring her, it's a good thing. And that she wants them to be happy and move on, like be happy and move on with her life. Even though it's gonna be a struggle. Because losing somebody you love is it's hard. It's hard. Not hard. It's hard. And the only thing to combat it, the only thing to do, while you may not fully heal, is move on and try to move on with your life. In this grandpa episode. Well, I'm gonna get rid of this. Excuse me for a sec. Thank you, George. Thank you. What other episodes are there? Good episodes. There's a lot of good episodes. You know, what's pretty funny is definitely driving Joey's new car and in reverse and smashing the garage. Remember that? And Joey's like, my car! My car! I'll see if I have a clip of that. Small clip. Full House. Oh, it's too long of the let me see if I can find a short clip. I may have something. I don't know. Here. I don't. Wait, I'm gonna get rid of this commercial first. I have an advertisement, and then I'm gonna share. I may get hit for this, but I don't care, man. If I have to edit it out, I will. Here we go. I remember this clip makes something laugh. Let's make us laugh. So let me put it on.
Better buckle up. I need some driving music. Whoa! Stay. Stay. Good car. P-R-N-D-R. Must mean radio. Whoa, Rodney, whoa! I'm in the house, and I'm still in the car.
Here's Michelle.
Maybe no one will notice.
Michelle.
Hello, Michelle. There's a car in the kitchen. There is? Oh, there is.
All right. Come on, Michelle, come with me. It'd be a lot harder for him to cry in front of you.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Oh, he's in a good mood.
Fine. Had a bang-up day.
There's a car in the kitchen.
Michelle, you're so silly.
She's not that silly. There's actually something I would like to show you in the kitchen.
Okay, I'm ready. Send him in.
Oh, this is great. I love surprises. Let's see. It's not Father's Day.
No?
Oh, I love this. This must be one of those bonus I love Dad days.
I don't know.
Good face, Dad.
Is everybody all right? Where's Stephanie?
We're all fine. Stephanie's at dance class.
Look at this house. Look at this kitchen. Look at this mess. I just waxed the floor. Where's my best friend, Joey?
Dad, let me get one more picture of you.
This is a very serious matter.
That's okay. You don't have to smile.
This is very sweet. Well, thanks for coming by. I'll call you later and tell you all about my boring dinner. Bye.
Whose suitcase is that?
Well, it's not what you think.
Oh, I think
Someone's in the closet, isn't there? Who's in the closet?
What closet?
It's McIntyre. McIntyre, come on out. I got your business dinner right here.
Jesse.
Just as I suspected. Nobody's in here. Steph, what are you doing here?
Just hanging around.
That's pretty funny, huh? It's funny. She did the exact same. She did that same thing in Fuller House. Adele Stephanie did the exact same thing in Fuller House. Reversed Joey's car into the kitchen in Fuller House. There's a car in the kitchen. Oh, Bastard, I did send you a link. If you or you can just come on here. I send the link up there, and I did send you a link in the DMs, I believe. There's a car in the kitchen. Here's something you like. Hey George, you like that? Here's something you might like. I did earlier in the show, but here.
Play it with me, Dad.
Okay. You know, sometimes grace and coordination skip a generation.
Yeah, because Steph is good at dancing, right? That's her passion. Oh, remember she's good at, is it baseball? Oh, you remember Rusty? When Danny was dating, what's her name? Was it Wendy? What's her name? Wendy? I forget who he was dating. But remember Rusty, who always used to play pranks on the girls and the family? Do you remember that one scene where they were having a barbecue and they invited and barbecue and everybody and Rusty was leaving out notes, starting a whole "I love you" stuff, and it got out of hand, and everybody thought somebody's in love with somebody at the table. It's just like Rusty's like, Steph really loves me. You remember that? And I remember she played baseball too, and she was a hell of a pitcher. Yeah, I remember that. It's like Westy. Let me see that. Let me see if I can find that scene. I'm definitely gonna get hit. Like, there's no doubt about it, I'm gonna get hit. But it's for honoring Bob Saget, so you know what? It's hard not to do Full House without showing some clips. Oh, this. This is funny. Here we go.
Ready for my kiss? Are you crazy? You really think I would kiss you? I just love torturing you. Well, in that case, Happy New Year.
Whoa, Stephanie, where'd you learn that?
Rusty. That was pretty funny. What else is there? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got somebody in the stream here. Dang. Hey, Ambassador.
Hey, Aaron. Sorry,
What's up?
man. I'm doing okay. I am so sorry, man. I remembered you were going to be doing this week. It slipped my mind that it was tonight.
It's all right, man. I was gonna do it earlier, but things got in the way, so I decided to do it tonight.
Gotcha. So I did catch a little bit of what you were doing, what you were talking about and everything. Um, yeah, I'm going to say this. 2022 and the end of 2021 just absolutely sucks if you're a kid of the 90s. Because I mean, we lost Betty White. I mean, of course, part of the Golden Girls, and we lost Bob Saget, I think honestly one of the greatest TV dads of all time. I mean, and well, not to mention he not only had one hit show during the '90s, he had two because, well, this as most everybody else does. He was the host of America's Funniest Home Videos,
Yes.
and the thing that I found the most amazing, and I learned this several years ago, Bob Saget was actually a really good stand-up comedian, but he was one of the most profanest stand-up comedians around. And I'm like, Danny Tanner had a potty mouth? Are you kidding me?
I mean, you know what I feel like? I'll just say this. I feel like Danny Tanner at times wanted to strangle his kids.
Yeah, probably, and I wouldn't have blamed him if he had. But I have on occasion listened to some of his stand up. It is really funny, but jeez, he could have given George Carlin lessons, for heaven's sake.
Oh my god, yeah.
But the really interesting thing about Full House, it really dealt with a different dynamic than what we had seen in other like 80s or even 90s sitcoms. This was dealing with a single parent and a single parent that was dealing with the loss of a spouse. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to talk about something that was really groundbreaking. And of course you've got, I think, if I remember correctly, Jesse was the wife's brother and Joey was Danny's brother. Am I right?
No, best friend.
Joe best friend? That's right, best friend. And I mean, the other, there was another really big sitcom at the time, and it was kind of edgy for its time as well. And that, of course, was Roseanne. And I know we're not talking about just 90 sitcoms; we're focusing on Full House and everything. But to just kind of give some context for the 90s, they really bounced outside of the borders of the normal sitcom with Full House. I mean, the whole premise that you've got three men raising a father and brother-in-law and best friend raising three kids, three girls. And that's a dynamic that we have only seen maybe once before, and that was there was another '80s sitcom called My Two Dads that had Paul
Yeah.
Reiser, as if I remember
Yes.
correctly, as one of the parents. And I honestly, being a kid who was in a similar situation that had a single parent. Now, granted, my grandmother did help raise me, but my mom raised me pretty much on her own. And to see it from the opposite side, where it's the father and not the mother that's having to deal with all of these issues, because when you've got a two parent household and you've got three girls, more often than not, the mother would help take care of the girls. She would be the main focus. So you've got a father who's having to shift that dynamic, and to see how they pulled it off. I mean, I know by and large it was a fairly lighthearted series, Full House was, but there were times that they did tackle some heavier subject matter in the
Yeah.
course of the show, and they made it work. And to mention another sitcom of the '90s was, of course, Family Matters,
Same
which
company.
yeah, same company, ABC,
Yeah.
yeah, Buena Vista Television, yeah.
Yeah.
Before that, we had only seen a one other African American family that was, of course, was on the Cosby Show, but that was a
the
different,
Jeffersons.
or the Jeffersons, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for
Barely done.
yeah,
It's barely
thanks,
done.
yeah. Um, but you had a different dynamic even with the Family Matters, because the father was
Yeah.
in law enforcement,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
if I remember correctly, the mother was wasn't the mother a stay-at-home mom, I think. Mary,
I think she was, but I also think she also had a job as
she might have,
customer
she might
service
have,
or something like that.
yeah, she might have had a job too. So I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah.
But getting back to Full House, it was honestly, I think the show may have gone on for a little bit longer than than it should have,
It
but at the
almost did
same
not get
time,
season 2.
hmm,
It almost did not get season 2 because season 1 actually did not do really well.
really,
Yeah, I found out a couple days ago. But they gave it a chance, and people started and liked it.
yeah.
I'm glad it did, because if they got the other guy who was supposed to be Danny Tanner, this show would not be good.
Who was supposed to be who was the other actor?
You know the father, in Teen Wolf, the father of Michael J. Fox character? He was supposed to be the father.
It has been so long since I watched
Yeah.
Teen Wolf.
They did-
I've
Yeah. So what ABC did, I think it was ABC, right?
yeah, it was ABC
They had-
because
They had 2 pilot episodes, one with Bob Saget and one with this guy. So I saw some of the clips from. I didn't see the episode for the other guy, but I saw some of the clips. Yeah, the chemistry wasn't there.
and that's the big thing, because obviously Bob Saget, he has good comedic timing. I imagine he had to
Yeah.
he had to kind of curtail his normal brand of
They
humor.
wanted him. That was their number one target. Unfortunately, when they went to him, he wasn't available first, so they got this guy. But Bob Saget was able to become available. Was once available. They're yeah, we're gonna go with Bob Saget again, basically.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think they made the right call with that, because
Oh yeah.
he worked really well with the other two guys, with
John Stamos. and
David Coulier and John Stamos. Yeah. The three of them had really good chemistry together, and then of course he really jived well with the girls. With
It was so believable.
yes, honey, I know. Sorry, Man Ambassador's chiming in. He meshed well with the twins and with Judy Sweeten and Candace Cameron,
Yeah.
and you could almost believe that they were a family. They were a family unit, and because they bounced off each other so well. That for me was a really impressive thing. I mean, there were a few episodes where Danny, and I think it was like even in like the pilot or the first one of the first season episodes, where he was still dealing with the death of his wife.
He was.
And Jesse, I mean Jesse, the wife's brother, he really brought he really brought a lot of weight to that as well, because it hit harder for Jesse because this was his sister. Yes, Danny was married to her, but Jesse had known her longer, obviously, because they were siblings.
It was a big sister
So
looked out for him.
yeah,
She looked out for
exactly.
him. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Jesse is a rebel, and
Yes, he was.
and his sister was the one to make sure to look out for him, make sure not to get in trouble and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say one of the strengths of Full House was the dynamic, was the the unconventional family dynamic that they had working with that series. And of course, you had Becky come in, Lori Loughlin, and she really kind of just meshed well with the rest of them as well.
Yes.
And I think why we remember Full House so fondly isn't so much any of the particular stories or episodes. I mean, there are some really good standout episodes for most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a snapshot of the world of the 90s from a different perspective than what we were accustomed to. Because this was a different family dynamic, unlike one that we had ever seen before. And it's centered around a guy trying to raise his three daughters, have a career, try to find some measure of happiness, and mourn. Because the one thing I kind of wish they had delved a little bit more into, I mean, granted, this was, like I said, a 90s sitcom, so they didn't go super hard on this. I wish they had maybe spent a little more time on him dealing with the death of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Because speaking as someone who has seen a spouse, particularly obviously my mom, the mourning process is obviously is very much open-ended. There is no set day when you're finally over it.
No.
Particularly when it's a spouse, and particularly with obviously when they were very much in love. And I kind of wish they had done a little bit more with that particular aspect of the series, but it doesn't diminish my enjoyment of the series to any extent.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, Bob Saget, he will be remembered as one of the great TV dads,
Yes.
regardless of decade, but definitely one of the great TV dads of the 90s, most definitely. So
Yeah, I like if I have my top 5 dads. I hate to say this. I mean, Bill Cosby's probably in there, but
no, hey, and here's the thing. It sounds like, at least this is what, if I'm hearing the reports correctly, a lot of those charges were trumped up. No
Okay.
pun intended, on Cosby. A lot of those allegations were, I think, bogus, or wherever the case may be. But yeah, if you want to separate the art from the artist, you could
I'll do
definitely
it.
say that Bill Cosby is Heathcliff Huxtable. He was a great TV dad.
So I'd say Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Carl.
Oh, Carl Winslow from Family Matters.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I would
Danny
agree.
Tanner. I'll
Yep.
say Philip Banks.
Philip Banks.
Fresh
What is he?
Prince.
Oh yeah, Uncle Phil. That's right. Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
the main character is is Will Smith, and he's a nephew.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
he was basically a father figure to Will.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, and he was a father
Yeah.
just in general because
Oh,
he had kids of his own. So yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not a lot of sitcoms like that anymore. Like they have these themes that these shows, but I mean they do, but it's not in the same. It's not. I just don't feel it as I did back in the 80s and 90s. There's some.
Well, the thing is, Aaron, and this is something I may cover in a few over the next few months on my over on my channel because I really want to get back into doing a lot of retro review content for my channel because that's how I started out originally. If you look at the sitcoms of the 80s and 90s, they were a snapshot of the world as it was then
Yeah.
and the family dynamic as it was then. The family dynamic has changed, and there have the shows that have come out now reflect that.
Yes.
I mean, I've never watched the series at any great length. I've watched a few episodes here and there, but Modern Family, I say, is definitely it is played up a little bit, but I would say that it is a somewhat accurate representation of the family dynamic as it exists now.
Yes.
And that is very, very, very unconventional. And of course, you've got one of the great, I think, obviously, another great TV dad from the 80s and 90s, Al Bundy, Ed O'Neill.
Imagine him now. Oh my God, you cannot do Married with Children now.
No, there's no way you could do Married with Children now. But you know, I will say this: I've seen clips of Ed O'Neill in Modern Family. The character he plays is Al Bundy-ish.
Yeah, but not.
He's not. But he's not Al Bundy full on. But there are aspects of the character that exist within that character that Ed O'Neill's playing.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just my top 5 of TV dads. Danny Tanner would definitely be on there. I would have to say, yeah, most definitely. I would say Al Bundy. I would also say Dan Connor.
Oh yes, John Goodman. Yes.
John Goodman. Yeah, John Goodman is Dan Connor. I would say definitely Heathcliff Huxtable. Separate the actor who plays him from the character. The character itself is a good character, and I would throw Carl Winslow in there too. He was a good dad, and I would even say Philip Banks from Fresh Prince. So, but yeah, you know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can go.
Well, you know, growing up without my dad, because most people know that have talked to me know me, he died when I was young. So I didn't have that father figure in my life. Now, don't get me wrong, my mom did her best, and I think she did a pretty damn good job raising me on her own.
Yes.
I think with the help of my grandmother, her mom. But seeing how these fathers behaved and how they acted and how they dealt with life, it's helped me. Granted, I'm not a parent myself, but it's helped me at least to be a good spouse, to be a good son. I mean, granted, it's not hard to be a good son. You take care, you do your best to take care of your parents and everything. But it definitely it gave me an idea of, aside from what I could glean from my memories of my dad, on how to be a good man, how to be an upstanding man, to be an upstanding husband, to care for my wife, take care of her, be there for her, support her. Much the same way that whether they were single parents or they were in a normal marriage. That's, I think, one of the great things about these old shows, and even some of the newer ones as well, is it gives the current generation that's watching these shows, and well, you guys like you and me, Aaron, it gives us an idea of what it takes to be a good husband, to be a good parent, to be a generally good, decent
Yes.
person. So,
Yes. So yes, that's very good. That's like yes, that's what these shows are about. It helps us with that. It helps us with everyday life, like, cause that's what I like. I know like Family Matters. It got a little too ridiculous at the end, like, cause we got
oh,
into
with
science. It
Urkel,
became too science fiction. Yeah, it became too science fiction, right? It's like,
yeah.
I mean, it got ridiculous, and but these shows, the sitcoms, especially back then, it's relatable, and it's relatable. Because in Full House, the themes of Full House, like you said, like there's a lot of themes. So like there's abuse. There's an episode about abuse in this show. Remember that kid that was picking on Stephanie?
Yeah, the one kid who tells her, "Well, just think of something funny when your dad's willing on you," and she's like, my dad doesn't
Yeah,
hit me." Yeah,
yeah,
and and I mean, obviously, it deals with the girls having to grow up without a mom. Now, granted, Becky did become sort of a surrogate mom to them, to the three of them. Now, but granted, she also became a
yes,
mother herself when her and Jesse got married, and they had the twins, and so on. So, but
yeah. I know your point. Yeah, that was a good thing. Like that episode. Like I mean, Stephanie is like, he didn't know. Stephanie asked like, why would his father do that? Like she didn't understand why. Like
yeah,
and you could tell they were having a hard time explaining it to her, because they didn't really understand why he would do that.
hmm
You know,
well,
it's
you
like
know, mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, you could go on.
Well, the thing I was going to say is, for a child that grows up in a well-adjusted family unit, that grows up in a well-adjusted family with parents that behave and act normally, that's going to seem very odd to them because parents don't hit kids.
Yes,
And to see now, maybe give them a swat on the behind if they misbehave.
a
Okay,
spank.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah, give them a spanking if it's needed. But for a parent to just absolutely unload on a kid like what that kid was describing to Stephanie, no, that is
railing
abuse.
is more than a spank.
That is abuse.
Railing is basically getting punched over and over. Yeah, that's abuse.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is outright abuse, and that's not right. By no means right. So it it was difficult for Jesse and Danny and Joey to try and explain uh, to the girls why an adult would do that to a kid. Because if you think about it, the parent's job is
Yeah.
to protect the child, not harm the
Yes.
child.
Yes. That was like that's what I like about the show. I mean, like, but the themes and
Mhm.
stuff. Like some of the. I mean, it's a sitcom. Sitcoms are meant to be funny, but there's always underlying themes about sitcoms. Always, they're meant to be more
Yes.
than just comedy, like joke. And I love like the maturity of Jesse throughout the years. He's Webo, good-looking guy, ladies man with the long hair, and then as the seasons went on, he gets Rebecca Dawson, or becomes his wife. Obviously, he becomes
hmm
he learns. I think Danny has an instrumental effect on Jesse as becoming a father later on in his life, being more
Yes.
responsible, raising his kids and stuff. And
hmm
the relationship became a brother-in-law to friend to basically brother. You
Yeah,
think about it.
yeah, I would honestly agree with that because of the three adults, Jesse goes through the biggest transformation through the series, and you can see him really come to rely on Danny because Danny's been a parent longer than he has. And even Danny says, "Hey, look, I don't have all the answers. I just I try to do what I do the best I
Yeah.
can to do right by my kids. And you do see. Hey George, good to see you, man. So, Uncle Jesse was the uncle I always wanted. Um, I would say my uncle, my mom's brother, he had aspects of Jesse's personality. He could be very stubborn. He had a very off center sense of humor. Still does. And but he always tried to do right by everybody around him. So,
Yeah.
and that was the thing about Jesse is he started out as just trying to help his brother-in-law raise his three kids, but he went on this journey himself where he became the family man also,
Yeah.
and that was a really great thing. That was a really cool journey to see take place
Hmm.
because Jesse, of the three of them, he had the most room to grow. I mean,
Definitely.
Joey did grow as well,
Just not as
but
much.
as no, not as much. If I remember correctly, Joey never, when the series ended, he didn't have. Did he even have a girlfriend or anything? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't think so. I just know that he eventually had a family in the Netflix series, right? And kids. That's all.
Yeah, the Fuller House. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I remember hearing about that, and I never got a chance to really watch Fuller House. Honestly, I watched like the first season and everything, but that
It's
just
it's not acclaimed as Full House. They tried to make it the same like premise with instead of the daughter with a daughter
yeah
with three boys instead of three girls, and
yeah
obviously she's a widow with her husband. And
yeah.
I mean,
They tried, but here's the thing. Full House was like lightning in a bottle, like a lot of those sitcoms back in the '90s
yes,
were. They were lightning in a bottle. They were innovative for the time, and you know, as I've kind of mentioned, um, sitcoms of the '90s were very starkly different from
they're
what you got
transformative, man.
from like what you got in the '70s or the '80s, because with Full House, you were dealing with single parent. With Roseanne, you were dealing with a lower income family, and the family was sort of dysfunctional. With Married with Children, kind of the same deal there as well, and everything. Um, with Uncle Jesse's creepy, horrible cousin freaked me out as a kid.
Oh yeah, didn't he have an he played the cousin, didn't he also? Who's kind of a con artist or something? I don't remember. I
I don't
remember. I
honestly
think.
remember. It has been so long since I watched Full House. I cannot remember honestly. But then, of course, you were also, with Fresh Prince of Bel Air, you were dealing with a guy with a kid that grew up in the hood or the ghetto or whatever I'll call it, and he came all the way out to California and his to live with his aunt and uncle who were people of means, obviously. I
And he
mean, they
grew up
lived
in
in
the
a
hood
mansion.
too. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they struggled to get where they were
Yeah,
because of the color.
they worked their asses off to get to where
Yeah.
they were too. Yeah. So and let's see. But yeah, just from the series I mentioned, sitcoms of the '90s were very unconventional,
Seinfeld. That's the one
but
for sure.
but they were successful in the stories that they told,
Yeah.
and I think that's why we look back on them fondly, is because the characters were extremely memorable, and the stories that they were trying to tell were also deeply impactful for us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes. Like exactly. Like look, I know like most of the cast is there's a lot of like the children were girls in the show, so a lot of
mhm.
stuff a lot of stuff. It's mostly meant for girls. In terms of the storylines for the girls, for the female audience, but it did get a high male audience also. It got a lot of male people watching because it was that good of a show. But but it did a lot of things for the young female audience. When we got Michelle, Michelle was basically the child, but for DJ,
She's the cute one.
yeah, DJ especially. DJ was the one who was preteen basically when the mother died. She was like 10 or 11, and then she became a teenager. And that's when, you know what, for a teenage woman, I would say as a female teenager, it's a lot harder than for a male probably in the world. Maybe I don't know.
I'd say it's equally hard, but you know, there's one
Michelle.
episode there's one episode of Full House, and it's one where DJ is trying to lose weight so she can go to
Yeah.
a swim party or whatever, and she decides to go on a crash diet, and it ends up ends up kind of messing her up.
It could have killed her.
Yeah, it could have
'cause
killed her.
She's afraid. Yeah, that's the gym. She's afraid. Because she thinks she's maybe has weight on, like she's chubby, and but yeah, because she was a teenager. She goes to high school, and that's what high school's about, man. Like high school's like that. High school's like
Yes. High school is a battlefield, and you gotta go in fully suited up to get through that minefield. I mean,
And
it's
what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? And I love that episode when, remember, she went to prom and she got caught holding a beer for the boy she was dating, and Jesse found her, and Jesse automatically assumed that she was drinking the beer. My reason for that is because the reason for that, I think he snapped and didn't think rationally, and at the point is because the mother was killed by a drunk driver.
yeah. If I remember correctly,
Yes.
I think that was how the mother was killed in Full
Yeah.
House.
And of
She
course,
was hit by-
Jesse thought of his sister, and it's like, GJ, what are you doing holding that beer? Like, I caught her with the. I understand. I understand why Jesse kind of lost it, because his sister, man, was killed by a drunk driver. Like, you probably wouldn't think rationally either. Like, if something like that happened to you, to somebody you love, and you see somebody holding alcohol, and that alcohol is the reason for somebody you love, it was killed by it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's why alcohol's. Yes. There's like abuse, rape. I mean, the 4 eyes thing. I know, I know. I don't wear glasses. I know you wear glasses. I know the 4 eyes thing is pretty hurtful for the people that wear glasses, and that's what I like about Steve. Steve comes in, and how Steve was able to tell Stephanie how to deal with it and stuff.
Yeah, and you did have the rare crossover with these series, and I think for that particular, I've worn, I never, maybe when I was younger, I had a bit of an issue having to wear glasses, but if I was going to be able to see, you had to wear glasses, and
Yes.
I can kind of understand where Stephanie was coming from with that, and I think the fact that you have a character like Steve Urkel come in and not play it up for humor, but be very straight about it, be very candid about it, and try and show her that, hey, this doesn't define you. It's just something you have to do to function.
That's the thing about
And
Steve in Family Matters. He
yeah,
gets shit on so much it doesn't faze him.
no, because I've actually one of my closest friends and everything from my school years, from like high school especially. He was kind of Urkel-ish. He didn't dress like him. He didn't sound like him. He wasn't even black. But he did kind of have that very unconventional personality. And thankfully, he's grown out of it. He's gotten older. He's gotten wiser, and he's gotten a sense of himself. He's comfortable in his own skin now. And but yeah, I think we all, to one degree or another, could either identify or knew someone like Steve Urkel from our childhood.
Oh yeah.
And having them do that crossover to help out Stephanie, I thought was honestly a great move. I didn't mind crossovers when they made sense, but just to kind of shoehorn it in, yeah, that's when it felt like cringy. So
Yeah. This wasn't one of those. This was actually made sense.
yeah.
Like,
So
I guess it made sense. That's a great episode. I love. It's not really a sad thing, but I love the Denise, who's Black Canary, by the way. That's Michelle's new friend after Teddy. Denise, that's Black Canary in the DCU. The same actress.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You would never thought, huh? Like that little girl is gonna be Black Canary. Like,
cool.
Yeah. There was a lot of the Beach Boys cameos. I mean,
oh yeah, with the telethon. Yeah,
yeah.
that's honestly, I will say that's one of my favorite episodes from Full House is the telethon that they do. And okay, I will say this: I'm not a huge Beach Boys fan, but seeing them in that episode, I was like, these guys are actually kind of cool. And to see Jesse, who's a big rock aspiring rock musician, rocking out with the Beach Boys, that was okay. That to me was funny. Of course, the other part of Jesse's personality, his absolute hero worship, or almost idol worship of Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah, like everything. Like, what do you have? Like Elvis Presley shampoo, like hairspray, stuff like that.
Well, not
Everything.
only that. Did you see like the I don't know if do you remember the dream sequence where
Oh,
Becky
yeah.
feels like that they're going to have a completely Elvis themed wedding, and she's wearing this very outlandish and
Oh,
garish
yeah.
wedding dress, and he's doing his Elvis, and he's like, "Come on, Priscilla, let's go get that hair jacked up about another foot." And the wig that she's wearing is so freaking huge she can barely stand up. barely stand up. And she's
I
like,
remember he.
"We're not having an Elvis themed wedding."
Yeah, he wanted to get married at Memphis, right? Where Elvis is from.
Graceland,
Graceland,
yeah. Well,
I remember
Elvis's
they went to-
mansion.
Remember they went to Hawaii and they went to the exact spot where Elvis did one of his one of his films, or was it one?
He did so many.
Yeah, I forget.
Okay. All right. I know Mother Ambassador will never hear this or see this, but just to tell on her a little bit here, she loved Elvis's movies. She did. Mother Ambassador loved Elvis's movies. And I'd be like, anytime they were on TV, she'd be like, "Oh, we're going to watch Elvis." I'm like, "I'm going to my room and read." She's like, "Oh, come on, it's Elvis." I'm like, "Mom, I love you. You're my mom, and I love you. But no. Just no. I'm not watching Elvis. You want to watch Elvis? Go watch Elvis, but I'm not watching Elvis." So I went to my room and read.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I love, and like that's Jesse, man. He's like a big Elvis fan of his hair. I mean, like protective of his own hair.
Are you kidding? No one touches the hair.
You know, man. He doesn't like to get hugged.
Well, of course, he did grow out of that especially once he became a dad. So,
Yeah.
but
he opened up. Yeah.
he did. He really
macho
grew up.
exterior. The macho exterior ran away as he got more mature and stuff. I love the connection between him and Michelle. Like, of all the three girls, I think him and Michelle had the best special connection with each other.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. And you know, I think the pair that really gravitated toward each other was Stephanie and Joey,
Oh yeah,
because Stephanie had a very unconventional sense of humor, and Joey kind of helped her to express that. And I will say this: David Coulier as a comedian, he's not bad. I don't know if he still tours or anything, but him playing him as Joey, it worked. It worked
yeah,
perfectly. I mean, of the three, I mean, obviously Danny was the straight man, Joey was the comedian, and Jesse was the rebel, as you
yeah.
mentioned. So,
You know what's funny? How they treat Danny in this show. I mean, Danny is a great dad, and he's one responsible for everything. Of course, he has OCD with the cleaning and all that. But
oh
he's
good
one.
lord, yes.
But the thing is, they always downplay him. Like, oh, you're not good at sports, you're not good at music, you're not good at anything. Like he's just not good at anything. You know, like he's talentless. You know.
Well, no, because he's in TV, and
Yeah.
being in TV, being a TV personality
Yeah,
takes
I
a
know.
lot of charisma, takes a lot of talent.
Oh,
It's
do
not
you
easy.
remember? Do you remember the episode when they had Ernie Hudson? Ernie Hudson was in the first season. Remember that? So
Ernie Hudson.
he was a boxer that Danny was interviewing.
Oh,
And he
Ernie
said,
Hudson. Ernie
"Yeah,
Hudson. Winston from Ghostbusters.
yeah,
Um,
yes,
Dang, I blanked there for a minute. Like, wait a minute, Ernie Hudson. I know that name. I know that name. Oh yeah, Winston. I don't remember that episode. Of course,
okay,
it's been.
okay, so okay, it's remember Danny used to do sports, right? Like
Yeah.
interview,
He was a sport. He
yeah,
was a sportscaster. Yeah.
yeah. So he did an interview with Ernie Hudson, who was playing a boxer, right? So he was interviewing him, and then Danny just mentioned out of the blue that um, his wife is divorcing him, and he didn't know. And his focus is now off the fight and more on on his wife, or one of the parents like, what happened, baby? It's like, and it cost him the fight, right? It cost him the fight because his focus is on his marriage, and everybody was blaming Daddy for because he wasn't a very good sportscaster.
Um. Actually, he was decent, but I think once
They
they
went
transitioned him over to
Wake Up San Francisco.
yeah, to the talk show, he started to do better there.
Yeah. Oh
He
yeah.
started to do a lot better there.
He was much better in Wake Up San Francisco, but it was pretty
Yes.
funny. It was pretty funny. Do you remember the episode where they got stuck on the island? I think that's season 2. They got stuck on the island. They thought they were lost, but apparently they were not. Remember that?
Vaguely, but yeah, I think I do. So
Oh yeah. It was. I remember they went to. Do you remember when they went to Disneyland? And this is to break up with Steve, and like DJ was always thinking everybody was Steve, like whoever was dressed up as whoever was dressed up in one of the costumes, one of the mascots at Disneyland. You always think it was Steve. She always thought it was Steve. Like I think it was like Prince, one of the princes. She thought it was Steve.
yeah,
Or Indiana Jones. You know the Indiana Jones ride, right? And he thought the guy playing Indiana Jones looked like Steve.
yes, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah. Now that rings a bell because I remember her being. She's like, Steve, look out!
In front of everybody. Pretty fun. And yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? When Jesse became a big hit in Japan.
Yeah. He had to go touring, and him and Becky, I think, were either married or they were dating at the time.
Married.
I can't remember. Oh, they were
Married.
married. Yeah, that they were married. And I think the twins have been born already.
Yes, they have.
So yeah, that was a rough one right there.
Because of Japan, because of that one song, and yeah, it was pretty. I like what was it? What was it? Jess Man? What was it called? What was it called? The Jess Man or stuff like that, right?
I honestly don't remember, Aaron. I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't remember.
Alright. Do you remember the boy Wesley?
No.
He was the one always. He was the one kid that Danny was dating his mother. He was the one kid who was always playing the pranks on everybody.
Uh, it sort of rings a bell. Like I said,
Maybe
it's been.
I'll show you it. Okay.
Like I said, it's been a long time since I've watched Full House. I mean, it's been a very, very, very long time since I watched.
I may
Full
get in trouble for this, but where's that? Okay, it's only a 20-second scene, so you may remember this.
You should be okay. Oh Lord.
This is pretty funny. I shared this. I showed this already, but I want you to see it if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
Did I put sound on? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, here we go.
Ready for my kiss? Are you crazy? You really think I
boy.
would kiss you? I just love torturing you. Well, in that case, Happy New Year.
Whoa, Stephanie, where'd you learn that?
Remember him? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
You remember-
I remember. That's from the New Year's Eve episode where
Yeah.
where Michelle thinks that she's going to get presents, and she's like, "I stayed up till midnight and I got licked by a dog."
Oh yeah, comment.
Comment.
Yeah. You remember the episode of Rusty when they were all having a barbecue and that whole episode was about love letters and everybody thinks they have a heart for each other? Like, remember that episode? Like
I
they
think
said
I vaguely, very vaguely, I do. Yeah.
And Stephanie played. Remember she played softball and it was baseball and she like threw the ball and like Rusty's like, man, this babe has an arm, and Danny's like, hey, that's my daughter. And yeah, she does. Oh yeah, she was dating one of the players on the other team, right? And he wanted to go easy on her to go easy on him, right? I remember that.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kimmy Gibbler was pretty funny. I like
Oh, Kimmy was a she was a spaz.
yeah,
She was the human embodiment of a spaz. Just out there and wacky and weird and just had no filter. Had absolutely positively no filter whatsoever.
hey Mr. T or something like that. Oh my, they couldn't stand her. Like nobody like oh my god, and she was so dumb too. The Gibblers are dumb. Like the brother in the Fuller House is also not that smart. Like it's a genetic thing. I think the intelligence in that family is a genetic thing.
It's possible. It does happen.
Yeah. It's Kim, but like I love Kimmy. Like I love Kimmy and Stephanie. They did like, in the show. Like they don't like each other. Like Stephanie and Kimmy don't like each other. And
Yeah, but that's DJ's best. That's DJ's best friend. So that's a. Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. I think of everybody in the family, I think DJ was the only person that really understood Kimmy. Everybody else was just like, "You're our sister slash daughter slash niece's best friend. So we're just going to we're going to tolerate you because we love our daughter slash sister slash niece."
It's like if you weren't her friend, we wouldn't care.
We would throw you out of this house in a heartbeat.
We would move.
Move or get a restraining order. You, Miss Kimmy Gibbler, are forbidden from entering the Tanner household. You are not to come within 1,000 feet of their residence. If you do, you will be placed under arrest and thrown into jail, and you will not be allowed bail. Yes, we will go that far because you are that annoying. We will suspend your normal constitutional rights to bail just because you are that freaking annoying.
And after
But,
that,
but Your Honor, that's not fair. I have spoken. This court is adjourned.
And you see some of the family, the Tanner family, and everybody else jump up and go, "Hallelujah!"
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Oh,
Yeah, Joey's great.
Oh my gosh, Joey. Okay. I now these are I can't remember if it was one episode or more than one episode where we meet Joey's dad, and Joey's dad
It's
was
one episode.
it was just one episode. He
Yeah, I
was a
think so.
very strict, very hard edge military officer.
Yeah.
And the thing you find out is it was his dad who taught him how to do Popeye and how to do Bullwinkle. And Joey comes to appreciate his father more. Not that he didn't love his dad, but he was just, the things were very strained between them because their personalities were so polar opposite from one another. But it took them reminiscing and him and the dad, hey, who do you think watched all those Popeye comics and Bullwinkle comics and watched
Yeah.
Bull Rocky and Bullwinkle with you? It was me. And it was probably because Joey was so young at the time, or maybe just your memory does
Yeah,
fade.
'cause
It happens.
Because the parents got divorced. I believe the parents got divorced.
I think maybe, yeah. I think that might be right.
Yeah.
And but I really love that episode because it shows that reconciliation between Joey and his dad, and you're like, okay, they're gonna be okay from here on out. Even if we never
Yeah.
see his dad again, we know that they're on good terms again, and that's the important thing. And
Yeah.
the dad tries to do, I think he tries to do the Popeye laugh, and Joey's like, okay, here, Dad, listen to me do it. And him as a impressionist and him as a ventriloquist, he was good. He was really good. I mean, is he as good as maybe Jeff Dunham?
No.
Well, but here's the thing: Jeff Dunham is a great ventriloquist. David Coulier as
He just did
a
it for the show.
impersonator, he is a very good impersonator.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what Joey was for the show. Like, Joey was there to provide laughter because in bad times, sometimes you need laughter, for the good, to make people laugh, to feel good. That's what he's there for.
Yeah. Well, I brought this up in the chat on stream. I was watching just the other day. How do we deal with stress? How do we deal with trauma? How do we deal with these just absolutely devastatingly bad situations? We cope with humor.
Yeah.
I think the context of the conversation was somebody had made the comment that Thor Ragnarok was too funny. And when Asgard gets destroyed and you have, the rock guy.
Oh,
like-
yes. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He's Korg.
Korg, yes,
He's like,
Korg.
the foundations are strong.
Hey, Blind Braille.
Hey, Blinded. Good to see you, man. It's been a little bit. I'll make this quick. And Korg makes the comment, well, the foundations are strong. And he's like, and then Surtur just completely destroys. And he's like, well, it's gone. It's destroyed. They're not going to deal, not everybody's going to react in the same way to trauma. Some people are going to try and break the tension with humor, and that's what Korg was trying to do, was break the tension with humor. So, yeah. But Blinded, we were talking about, this was just a short segue off the main topic. We were talking about, we were talking about Bob Saget and Full House and everything.
You're right about Thor. It was yeah. Korg dealt with it because Thor in Infinity War, how he dealt with it with the beginning with Thanos taking over the ship, Loki dying, his people dying, and that whole show, that whole movie when he was in it, he was not the Thor the Thor that was always high spirited Thor, who was always when he wants to go into battle, he's always like, yes, it's battle. He wasn't like that, He wasn't like the Thor we're used to in Infinity War, especially in Endgame. He wasn't like that. In Endgame, he was the Endgame. He was kind of like
he was broken.
He was grieved. He was broken in Endgame. Yes, because he looked like he was okay, but he wasn't. He wasn't. He was fat, gaming, joking around. But the difference with that and with
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah, that's yeah.
Well, and they had to balance out Full House and everything to make it relatable for people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I described the three guys. Danny was the straight guy. He was the one that everybody could relate to.
The goody two
Jesse
shoes,
was the
basically.
huh?
He's kind of the goody two shoes of the group.
Yeah. I'm feeling fat Thor with these lockdowns. Blinded. I don't know where you live, dude, but I'm sorry that y'all are locked down still. It sucks. Thankfully, where I live in the state over here in the states, we're not locked down. Everything we've had. I don't know if maybe Indiana's just different. I don't know, but we haven't been locked down since like late 2020 ish or early 2021 ish. Anything. So it's been. We've had some surges here and there, but it's not been anything where it's gotten like bad for us.
Yeah,
Oh, you're in Canada. Oh, dude, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
In Ontario, yeah, we are locked down, kind of.
Oh, dude,
I'm just hoping by March 4th, where we get the movies are open, because I want to see Batman in the theater.
Oh, dude.
We are. Our cases are starting to come down where me and Blind and Braille are. Our cases are starting to come down, but
that's good.
We're still reasonably high right now.
Well, and I don't want to get off on a big tangent because I kind of want to keep it focused. I don't know how much longer you want to go or anything, but we've been hit a little bit at work and everything. A few people have gotten. I don't know if it's this new strain or maybe if it's just the main or whatever. But I will say this: people have been out. Anything of work for a few days, but then they've come back and they've been okay. So, thankfully, I haven't caught it.
It's not as serious as the other strains.
No, it's not even close. It's
more
more contagious, but it's not nearly as virulent.
That's how these respiratory viruses evolve.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Blinded. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm definitely excited for the Batman.
I mean, there's a lot of Batgirl stuff leaking in these past few days.
I'm.
Well, okay, that's good. That's good to hear.
My sister,
George.
her boyfriend died recently, but had been fine. That's what I've heard. A lot of people have caught it, but it hasn't like knocked anybody like on their backside. Like, or okay, I'll just say knocked them on their ass.
It doesn't go into the lungs, which is a good thing.
No, that's the upside.
Yeah.
But speaking of just in general of the Batman, yeah, I'm definitely excited for it. I've seen both trailers now. I've seen some of the other little clips that they've dropped here and there. I'm interested. I mean, I'm definitely interested to see this and everything. And
oh yeah, you told me about Gabriel.
Oh, Blinded, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he told me about it. I think he's better now. I think he says he's just coughing still a little bit, but I think he's better now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
he's not boosted. I think he told me so. I think if I'm boosted now, but finally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, continue.
But no, you're fine. You're fine, Aaron.
Okay. Yeah, there's just a lot of Batgirl stuff being leaked over this week. A lot of stuff. Do you want to talk about? We could talk about, even though it's a Full House stream. If you want.
Honestly, I'll be candid with you, Aaron. I've kind of backed away from a lot of the DCEU and DC comic stuff. I don't discuss it. There's just too much damn drama around it.
I know.
And
there's ready for Peacemaker right now. Like Peacemaker's doing really really well, and the people starting to drama around. You know what those people, who those people are.
I may watch it, but I don't know if I'm even going to cover it. I mean,
I'm covering it. If you want to join me, I'm doing it. Actually doing this. I'm gonna do it Saturday afternoon before your stream because you do a night stream right on Saturdays.
I might, I may do a stream Saturday evening. It just might be later in the evening. I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I know I'm going to cover. I'm definitely going to go. I'm going to cover Book of Boba Fett. And yes, for those of you that might be wondering, yes, I did enjoy episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett. I've been enjoying the series in general. So I haven't seen things from the same perspective as a lot of other people have. So for me, Book of Boba Fett, it's been solid. It's been entertaining. This last episode really put in focus what the main conflict is going to be. I think we're finally moving away from all the flashbacks. We had a little short mini flashback in this episode and everything, but it stuck more to the current period more so than telling backstory. I think we've gotten the backstory that we're going to get, and they're going to keep it in the current time frame now.
For me, I've been up and down. Like I didn't like the first and third episode, but I did like the second episode. But you know what? I'm one of those people. I'm gonna still give it a chance. 'Cause I think, to me, the fourth and fifth episode for me has to really pick it up. I need to know, especially the fourth episode, because it's the halfway point. I think it's 8 episode season.
Yes, it's 8 episodes here. Yeah, season. So.
I mean, I know. I'm sorry to disagree with you on some of the stuff. It's just, it's not bad. It's to me, it's not like terrible. I just don't think it's like Mandalorian level.
And I get that. I do. I can understand. I can understand that statement where you're coming from there. Myself, am I saying it's just as good as Mandalorian? No, because Mandalorian was the first of its kind, so you're never going to have that first of its kind feel ever again. Mandalorian was the first attempt to do a serialized Star Wars streaming series. So, and it will always be that benchmark.
Yes.
And Book of Boba Fett, I think, is a solid entry so far. We'll have to see where the rest of the series goes from here to really get a feel for how well it's received. From what I've heard, for the most part, I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. I haven't heard. I mean, I've heard from the usual corners. Oh, they're disrespecting Ken, and they're wrecking the character. All this other nonsense. I'm like,
I disagree with those people. Like, to me, like I said, it's up and down, but not for the reasons those people are saying.
And you know, I'll just say this briefly. I liked the speeders. I liked the speeder gang. I thought that was a nice little wink and nod to the big guy. GL. I did, because that was something that he loved. He loved classic motorcycles. He loved classic cars. I mean, one of his aside from Star Wars, one of his most well-regarded movies is American Graffiti. That's all about cruising. So for me, I thought, honestly, I loved the speeders. I thought they were cool. I thought the chase scene was really well put together. So.
I know there's one guy made a video about it who says he wasn't going to watch the show, but you know, they lie.
Well,
so I am going to do a Peacemaker thing on for Saturday. Versus first three episodes, so it's going to go longer, and I might need people to chat or whatever. If you want to come on, you could come on. Blind Brother, you're always free to come on.
Yeah. It just depends and everything what time you're going to go, because I don't get off work until like 2 o'clock my time.
Oh, I'm going. I know you're an hour behind me, but yes, I think you'll be home by the time I go on. I'll just put a link, and I'll just send you a link. When you come on, you can come on. Okay. And Blind Brother, you're also free to join me.
Okay.
For that,
absolutely.
I
mean, like I said, I may watch it, but I just don't know if I really want to. I'm not trying to be a DC hater. I'm not by any means a DC hater.
No.
I'm just kind of sticking with Marvel, because there's not as much, as I said, there's not as much drama involved with the Marvel
No,
discussion or MCU discussion as there is with DC.
no, you're right. You're right. That's
Yeah,
that's true.
I got a lot
I
of
know
praise, some criticism, but I loved
there is.
Peacemaker.
There is.
And Blind, and like I said, if you're, then the other thing is this: I grew up reading Marvel comics. That's what I'm. That's what I'm accustomed to. That's what I'm a fan of. I like DC to a degree. I don't by any means dislike it. I mean, I did a whole stream with Ryan, Master and None, where we talked about this whole thing. Can Marvel fans or DC fans the opposite of that particular fandom? And the fact is, yes, we can. There's no
I'm one of
reason
them.
why you can't. But I just, considering all the drama and all the bull crap that's going on with the DC fandom and that other fandom that I'm not going to mention because I've completely washed my hands of it. I'm not even saying the freaking name.
We are. We are blind. All three of us. Like, I mean, he's more DC, but he likes Marvel.
I'm more
too.
Marvel. I am
Yeah,
a
oh
major.
yeah, you're more Marvel. But you
Um,
like some DC stuff. It's not like you hate.
yeah, no, I'm not by any means a DC hater. There's no reason to hate DC. There's got some good stuff, but it's just for me, the Marvel universe has an appeal that DC doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that as a negative. It's a personal preference. And I honestly, I have. There's a lot more characters in the Marvel universe that I am a fan of, and that I have followed for the longest time.
This is an issue right there. Yeah.
Bingo, blinded. You're not. You're by no means wrong. I'm not going to get to particulars here. That's not the reason why I'm saying this, but
Good choice.
I've
Good.
had
I like this
to.
stuff too.
Yeah, George. Yeah, I myself. That's where my main love for DC came from, was the DCAU. I mean, I even did a whole freaking stream talking about the DCAU, the animated universe. I think we went for like 3 hours or something that night.
I'm looking forward to the Batman anime series coming back. Like,
I am too. I honestly, I am too. Um, but just to put a quick finish on the comment I was going to make. Things within the DC fandom have gotten so bad that I have
Oh my God.
I have quite literally had to cut associations with people. I'm not going to name names. That's not my reason for bringing this up. But when I as a person who am a fan of so many different things, have to just distance myself from people because they are so out of bounds with some of their positions and some of their claims and just how they're approaching things, that I have to say I can't do this anymore.
I'm
said,
gonna be honest with you. I'm a fan of every I'm a fan of every comic book movie coming out because
yeah,
I don't know. It could be like I can't like people are like already giving like the Flash, even Batgirl. Oh, it's gonna be bad. It's trash. It's gonna suck. I'm one of those people. How do you know? Go see it first, then give your different answer.
and that's the other thing. That's the other thing. I don't. When it comes to how I approach the content that I make and the stuff that I do for my channel,
That's true.
yeah, I don't do speculation. I don't do rumor. I don't do conjecture, and I don't do theory. Well, I do some theorizing, but I try
I
to
do
base it
that.
on fact.
I
But
do that.
I will do
that.
theorizing.
I'll do rumor and theorizing, but I won't when I make my videos or my streams mentioning that stuff. I won't say if it's gonna make the movie shit, or
Right.
good.
Yeah.
I won't go that far. Like
Yeah, exactly. for me, the way my mind works is I want to discuss what I have seen, not what I may see.
Yeah.
I like to break stuff down. I like to discuss what we have seen in a film or a TV show or whatever, not what we potentially could see, not what is in some sort of leaked footage or some
That's the problem,
article.
George. Right there.
And you got yourself another bot.
Don't worry, I got the mods in here. But George makes a great point right here.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people, like the people that are not fandom. So if you don't like these movies, you're not a DC fan. I'm like, I'm like to these people, you're not a DC fan because of a movie like this particular universe. You're not a DC fan because if you were, you'd be supportive of the other films coming out. This DC films.
Yeah, and George, I'm right there with you, man. Bye, body. That's a good one. But you know, the one thing I am definitely going to get back into doing that I've kind of honestly missed doing on my end of things for my channel. I've missed doing my retro reviews. I've missed going into like films and different other aspects of pop culture from the 80s and 90s because that's where I started my whole channel out as. And don't get me wrong, I've loved covering the stuff that's more modern, that's more current, but you're going to be seeing a lot more of the retro content coming back to my channel. And
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to, I know we've discussed it a little bit here tonight and everything, but I'm definitely going to put together a stream where we discuss like the really iconic sitcoms of like maybe even going back to the 70s because there were some good sitcoms in the 70s too.
Oh yeah. I mean, you
I mean,
could go back to
granted,
the 50s with I Love Lucy and stuff. Oh my.
yeah. I d- I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I've heard some good things about
Untitled?
that Amazon Prime series,
Yeah.
Lucy and Desi.
Yes. I haven't seen it yet. Is that the one with Nicole Kidman?
Yes, yeah, where she plays
Yeah.
Where she plays Lucille Ball.
I haven't seen
I
it
can't
yet, but yes.
remember. I definitely want to check that out if I can. So
Yes, I mean, like, the one sitcom I really want to talk about is Seinfeld. I can't get enough of that show. It's so damn good. I know, like, the premise of that show, but it's like
it's a show about nothing.
But
it
it's really
worked.
it's about four despicable people that screw up everything.
I don't know if I would necessarily call them despicable. Maybe just
The screw up.
yeah, they were all screw ups.
Yeah, I mean, it's because most sitcoms there's always like a continuing storyline in some sitcoms and stuff. Not all of them, but sometimes they are. But they're very short. They're very short using sitcoms because you don't need you don't need a storyline building up in a long storyline building up in sitcoms like you have in none sitcom like shows, like more like drama shows or like cop shows stuff. Or
Yeah,
hero shows.
because the episodes are isolated from one another
Yeah.
more or less.
But Seinfeld, Seinfeld really had no storyline build up for anything. Like Seinfeld's always one different episode every episode. Like,
Yeah. Well, the same thing is true with Friends. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to talk about one of the really big icons of like us. Blah, blah, blah. Nice lady, oil, nice lady with the shoes on her feet that just popped off her feet because her feet are too big. That was my Jerry Lewis. Not particularly good, I know.
Jerry Lewis is amazing. And like,
Oh, dude, that man was a comedic genius.
yeah.
Him and Dean Martin.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, the parody they did of him on Animaniacs, Mr. Pennzoilhead. Mercy. Hey, George, if you need help with any of that stuff or anything, if you need panelists or whatever,
Okay.
you know how to get a hold of me, man. So
The Keaton man, I'm excited for Keaton. Like I want Keaton to come back. I'm excited for Keaton, guys. Let's get excited. People, let's get excited for Keaton. And like Ben Affleck is done, guys. Let's get this over with. Ben Affleck is done, 100% done. Okay, like
Look,
there's no hope for
him
Ben.
as the Batman is as done as putting a stake through Dracula's heart. It's done.
D-O-N-E with an exclamation mark. Done. Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's maybe done for now. There's a better chance Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, and I think I put a little small percentage on that. Then Ben Affleck coming as Batman, we're up for 0% on that.
Well, here's the thing. Ben Affleck has said, and not only that, I mean, one of his closest friends, granted, they had a
Matt
falling
Damon,
out,
yeah.
but it was like, dude, I think you need to stop playing Batman. He's like, I think you're right.
Yeah. Batman was killing Ben Affleck.
And, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm not saying this as a hater or as a deraider or just me being negative.
No.
Ben Affleck as Batman, he was okay. I don't know if you heard that. That was the missus saying he sucked.
Oh.
He sucked. Sorry. You heard about Kilmer. He sucked. Sorry.
Need I say more? From the lips of the man that bastard to all of you. And she's not. Here's the crazy thing about Man and Bastard. Before she met me, she didn't know squat about comic book movies or comic books. I was the one that got her hooked on this crap, and now she's a hardcore Marvel fan. I mean, the first movie we went to see when we started dating was X-Men: Days of Future Past, for pity's sake.
It's actually a good movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. I mean, I went to visit her because when we were dating at the time, she lived 2 hours away from me, and we went to a theater in her area, and oh my gosh, this theater was so good. Such a awesome theater. And I'm sitting there with the popcorn and soda, and we're sharing the popcorn, and I've got my soda, and I'm just sitting there going chomp chomp. And she's when somebody was over, she's like, "Well, that was good." I'm like, "That was more than good.
Yeah.
That was amazing." She's like, "You really like X-Men, don't you?" I'm like, I am a child of the 90s. Of course I love X-Men.
This is right. Like, the Ben Affleck Batman is, I personally think it's good, but I think he's overrated.
That's kind of the feeling I have. I think he's... Look, here's the thing.
It's not his fault.
No, here's the... Go ahead, Aaron.
Because it's not his fault, because he didn't really do much after BVS. I mean, in Justice League... he did. The thing I found with Justice League in both versions, Batman's not the type of guy who would want to bring somebody back from the dead, or him to be the one suggesting starting a league. That's not Batman's thing. Batman's usually the type of guy that's would be the last one to start the league. It should have been Wonder Woman suggesting it, not Batman. And this is what I like about the movie is terrible, but the Whedon Justice League. There's the conflict about bringing back Superman back to the dead. I actually liked because there's disagreements on that, and Batman being the one for it is something I did not like because Batman should know. Batman's the type of character in the comics would not bring something back from the dead.
No,
even if it's Superman, because I don't think they need a Superman to be Steppenwolf. Honestly.
No, because if you think about Aquaman and Wonder Woman,
yeah,
they were doing a pretty damn good job whipping his ass.
Yeah, and I'll say the Snyderverse on Batman, Superman with the black suit. I like the black suit, but that was not needed. It was just there for fan service.
It was, yeah. Here's my issue with Batfleck. We have no build up to this particular. We have no build up to this particular version of Batman. He's just poof there. We don't know anything about his past. We don't know anything about his present. Nothing. I mean, yeah, we know how he became Batman and everything, but everybody knows how Bruce Wayne became Batman.
Yes.
But we had no build up time. We had no lead time with this character. And I'm not saying Ben Affleck did a bad job in his performance. I think he did
didn't.
I think he did a pretty damn good job in his performance, both in BVS and in the other version, not the Joss Whedon version, the other version. I thought his part was fine. But for me, my Batman will always be Michael Keaton.
Yes.
Michael Keaton / Val Kilmer, because I very much liked. I will always be a hardcore fan for Batman Forever.
I love Batman
Because-
Forever. I think it's a very unappreciated Batman movie. I know it's different, but Batman Forever is some good stuff. It's just, to me, Two-Face is a little too much.
I liked Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. I liked his version of how he played Two-Face. Yes, I know it was a little bit more boisterous than what we're accustomed to, particularly if you're going off of the Batman animated series version of Two-Face. Yes, I can understand that wholeheartedly. But honestly, I liked Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. I liked Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I thought he
too.
was a good Riddler. But I will give this new Riddler a chance. I am not against what Matthew Reeves is going to do with this particular Riddler. So
I like
hey,
the serial killer aspect of the Riddler, like
Yeah.
Zodiac killer. I mean, I like
Yeah.
it for this setting. It's great. Like, I mean, like it's I'm excited for Patterson's Batman because to me, this feels like a Batman. This feels like Batman, not just using his his skills to fight, but actually using something that he's known as the world's best detective at.
detective.
Yeah, like there's a reason. Like the Batman movies, they haven't really done that all that much. Like exploit.
Well,
one of his
except for the Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's true. Dark
But,
Knight,
yeah.
yeah, that's true. But this Patterson stuff and like this Batman Patterson, the Riddler, and Penguin. There's a reason why Riddler's obsessed with Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like, there's a reason why. Like, Brian Braille has great points on the reasons why. Like, there's something maybe connected to the Reigns, that the Reigns are like maybe corrupt in this world or something, and they
Maybe.
affected the, and somehow like the Riddler is expected to be an orphanage or something like that. But the thing I'm concerned with is now I'm a little concerned is with the Batgirl stuff, because now there's like rumors of other villains involved in in that universe, Batman villains like Killer Moth and Firefly. I don't care, but it's the other ones I care about. We know Vicky Vale is technically in it now. But we don't know if the actual person is in it, but the actual actress, or we're gonna see Vicky Vale. We just know Vicky Vale's in it. Lex Luthor now is in it. Lex Luthor is back in prison. There's a picture of Lex Luthor in prison, and he hires a new lawyer, or something like that. But the thing is, if they're adding a lot of Batman stuff to the Batgirl, I wanted to be careful, because save some of your stuff for the Batman universe, Matt Reeves universe. You know?
Well, here's the thing: the Batman universe is so big that they can pull from just about anything, and they're not necessarily going to rob Matthew Reeves of what he might potentially do with his series of films.
Yes.
So I'm not terribly concerned on that front.
Yes, because Matt Reeves has a lot of control.
And Blinded Braille, you might actually be onto something there. I can't say for sure because I haven't seen the blasted movie, but it's a possibility.
Oh yeah. There's definitely something there. There's something there that we'll see. But it'd be great. Like, it's gonna be a good story. I think Patterson is gonna be the best Batman / Bruce Wayne, because the one thing that the most Batman movies have done a poorly job of is making both Bruce Wayne and Batman very good at the same time.
Um,
They struggled at that.
I would say of I would have to say I think Keaton was solid both as Bruce Wayne and as Batman both.
I just
Because
I
because
just
here's
wish
the
they did a
thing.
little more. I just wish they did a little more as Bruce Wayne. Like the problem I have with Keaton as Bruce Wayne, like when they had that party in the first movie, Vicky Vale and Charlie and Knox didn't know who Bruce Wayne looked like. Come on, that's kind of a
Well, but here's the thing. If you think about this really, Bruce Wayne could be considered kind of a recluse. He could be very secretive, and they may not know who he necessarily looks like.
yeah.
I mean, we don't know how much of a presence this Bruce Wayne has in Gotham City. We don't know how much of a public persona he puts out there. He could be kind of reclusive or kind of secretive. I mean, I'm sure some people know. I imagine a lot of people know who he looks like, but maybe Knox and well, definitely Vicky Vale don't know who he looks like per se because it's just there may not be a lot of pictures of him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
And you
yeah,
think about it too, considering the trauma he has to deal with, the fact that he was there with when his parents are murdered in front of his eyes, it can make you very apprehensive to go out in public a great deal or be photographed or anything like that. So
yeah, that's true. Like that's true. I mean, with Patterson's Batman, like I think it's year 2. He seems like he's angry.
that's mhm.
Like an
Yeah,
angry Batman.
that's what I've heard that a lot of people
From
are
the
saying that this.
from the trailer when he has Bruce Wayne, he doesn't look like the playboy. He doesn't look like he's looking like a playboy Bruce Wayne. He's more like look like a depressed Bruce Wayne, like a sad Bruce Wayne. You know, when he's as Bruce Wayne, not as in the trailers, but that's the trailer. You never know. He could still be that playboy billionaire where he fools the public.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Well, here's the thing. Even though we've got like what 2 trailers for the Batman,
3 technically.
well, okay, we have not really seen all that much. We've seen the same footage of the conversation, or we've heard dialogue of the
Yeah,
conversation between him and Selena, or different conversations, but we've only
yeah,
actually seen one actual scene of them together, of him and Catwoman. And we've only seen like small little snippets of clips of him as Bruce Wayne and not so much Batman, and we have not seen much else. So we really don't know what his mental state and what his personality is like until we go into
yeah,
the movie. You know, that's I will say this: what trailers have done nowadays is it gives you just enough to pique your curiosity without ruining the film. I know some people were saying that they were starting to show too much for No Way Home, but honestly, if you think about it, we didn't see all that much in any of those trailers. We really
yeah.
didn't. Every trailer had the same footage from the previous trailer with only maybe a few seconds more of a clip here or a clip there, and that was it.
Yes,
So
yes.
it really did not ruin anything to any degree, especially the big reveal of, well, obviously, for anybody who doesn't know by now, the 2 other Spider-Men.
Or and not the big reveal that Mephisto is going to be in it.
Oh, I am so, even as a Marvel fan, I will say this: Mephisto is not that interesting of a character. He is just the Marvel equivalent of the devil, and let's be candid, the devil is not that interesting.
None. Here's the thing: the Devil's not as big as in Marvel or even in DC.
No, I don't even think there is a. I don't even think there is a
Yeah, I
devil in
think there is a
DC.
devil in D. I think there is a devil in DC, but I think there's a lot of high. There's a lot of high demon lords in DC. I think there is this devil in DC. I'm not sure. Maybe
Well,
Black Widow, though.
there's a demon Etrigan, but he's more of a
He's
hero
a good
slash
guy. Yeah.
anti-hero type
There's
character.
There's Neuron. There's Neuron, I believe. I think Neuron's closest
And
to the devil in DC.
and
But I
there's
think
Trigon, of course.
well, well, technically Lucifer's in DC, right? No, Lucifer's
I
in
think
DC.
so.
I mean, Lucifer
think
was an
so.
Arrowverse. Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, maybe his father Trigon secondly the devil.
Well, no, but he is a demon.
Yeah. The DC's, I think hell, the concept of hell or Hades, whatever, is so. Sandman's a DC. It's so, like,
Yeah, Dead Man or Sandman. Yeah. Oh, I love
Oh.
the Sandman character.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to that Netflix show.
So
Sandman's having a Netflix show soon, man. That's gonna be good. Like, yeah, like, I'll say this. I think Mephisto will enter the MCU at one point because I think it's pretty clear Ghost Rider is gonna end up in it. When that happens, we'll get Mephisto. But like, it's these people saying Mephisto's gonna show up in this film or this Disney Plus show. No, just be logical about where he's gonna show up. Why would Mephisto show up in WandaVision? Why would Mephisto show up in No Way Home? Like, this because
He
some of
wouldn't.
the things, because some of the aspects are from the graphic novel, like the erase all the memory stuff. There's no, and I'm gonna tell you this: Mephisto is not. If you saw the Doctor Strange series, Mephisto is not the one causing all that. It's either Wanda or somebody else, and I think it's possibly Morgan Le Fay.
well,
If
we
you don't
know
know-
if you're talking about Multiverse of Madness, we know that Carl Mordo is going to be one of the main antagonists.
Yes.
Now, I think that other Doctor Strange that we saw
Exactly.
was a.
Variant. It's like one of the variants.
I think he's a variant, but I think he might be a variant version that's similar to the Doctor Strange that we met in What If.
I heard there's more variants of Doctor Strange, but I think I don't know. I think everybody say Wanda's the main villain. I don't want Wanda to be the main villain.
I don't see her as a villain. I see her as more of an ally.
I say have. Look, Wanda's a witch, right? Like Wanda, Scarlet Witch. If I have Morgan Le Fay be the main villain, because Morgan Le Fay, if you don't know who Morgan Le Fay, she's Morgana based off the legend.
Yeah.
Of, right, and Morgana's based off the Celtic goddess Morgan.
Celtic gods.
Right?
Yeah. I
Celtic
know. I
goddess.
know about.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, Aaron. We've had no build up for Morgan Le Fay.
The only mentioned thing that's relatable to her is Eternals with the Camelot stuff and Excalibur.
Yeah, but again, we've had no build up for her at all. So
I'm just saying because she did have the Darkhold in the comics.
yeah, but now Wanda has it. So
Yeah. So maybe she's going after Wanda or something. She's manipulating Wanda or something. Witch on witch. I don't know. Like,
we'll
I
just
don't
have to
want-
wait and see. So
I don't want. But the thing is, Morgan Le Fay was in the Runaways. You ever watch that show, the Runaways?
no, I didn't.
Which the Runaways is that show with I think the Runaways had. She was.
It was dealing with the children of a bunch of supervillains,
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah, I know about it. I never watched
It
it.
had the actor who played Doctor Strange, not Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom in the first Fantastic Four movie as the main villain, as an alien. It was, technically, they say it was connected to MCU, but they kind of brushed that off. But they have Jay Marsden's Spike in it. Spike was one of the main actors.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, Doctor Strange is one variant. There's multiple variants. There was even a picture of Doctor Strange with like a ponytail or something.
I haven't seen any.
Is this a
I
bastard?
don't-
You got 6
I don't
months
go-
of this movie.
I don't go digging around on the internet for a bunch of for news on movies. I just wait for the movie to come out and then I go see it.
You're better off. That's better off. You're better off doing that. I should do that too, but I think it's too much stuff on Twitter. I just hate the only thing about the Doctor Strange is all the guessing who's gonna make the cameos. People are just guessing who's gonna make it. So I made a video say everybody's gonna be in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think it's I think I saw you post that.
Because I'll be
You
right.
know, I just I'm not criticizing people for the content that they do for their channels. You do you.
Yeah.
You do what you want to do. It's not my business to say what you can and can't do. I just decide what I want to do, and for me,
Yeah.
speculation and rumor and all this other stuff is just not interesting. I mean, it was maybe for a little while, but it's gotten to the point where it's
Too
not
much.
interesting. It's not interesting. It's not engaging, and it's just a bunch of spinning your wheels for the sake of spinning your wheels when I've got other things I could be doing with my time. And I look at things from a logical perspective.
I try to do when I base the rumors in speculation. I try to do it from a logical perspective too. Because I'll say like for the Doctor Strange stuff. I'm like some people say Black Bolt like from the Humans can be in it. I mean I'll be like why would it make sense for Black Bolt to be in Doctor Strange? Why?
Look, they complete, and this is something that kills me even to this day. And if I ever see the person that botched Inhumans, I may thunder punch him in the throat.
It should have been that shows.
I am a huge fan of the Inhumans, a huge fan of the Inhumans. And when I heard that they were going to be doing a movie or a series, I was like, yes. And then I heard what happened to it, and I'm like,
Oh,
son of a bitch.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a better job with Inhumans, and they didn't even use the main characters from the Inhumans. They didn't even use Black Bolt or Ramsey Bolton's character. I'm sorry, or Crystal or like Medusa. They didn't even use them in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they did a good job with the Inhumans in season 2.
And that's the absolute killer for me, because I would love to see the Inhumans as part of the broader MCU, and maybe down the road Kevin Feige can pull it off right. I hope he can. I hope they take another crack at the Inhumans, and I hope they leave Feige alone this time.
Yeah,
instead of whoever that ass clown was that screwed up the Inhumans. If the ass clown that screwed up the Inhumans is listening, you're on my list.
You hear that? You made the list.
You are on my list. And my list is not a list that you want to be on, because it's not a very long list of people that have really pissed me off.
So they had to kill off Ramsey Bolton in Game of Thrones so he could just be on that show. Because that's a pretty funny show though. That's a pretty funny show because it's so bad. I mean, like, oh yeah. Look, if Black Bolt's in it in Doctor Strange, I'll admit I'm wrong. But I think these guesses are so outrageous. I mean, I joked about Squirrel Girl being in it.
That would actually be funny.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
Fuller
Marcus.
House. He was in Fuller House, but I was talking about Full House. He was.
We were talking about Full House, but Marcus, you came in at a very odd time because we kind of segued way off of the main topic. So.
Well, we can still talk about it if you want. Like, there's some stuff we can still talk about.
Well, honestly.
Oh, you want to see that? Want to see? Did you watch Dumb and Dumber the prequel?
No.
Oh, you gotta see the scene.
I've never even seen Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber was a great movie, but the prequel is pretty bad. The prequel's not good. I'll admit the prequel's not good.
That's what I've heard. I've heard the prequel is very bad.
Funny seeing Bob Saget in it.
Oh heavens! Okay, let's see it.
You can laugh so hard. Oh, let me type in. What was it? It's not that long. It's like. I know. I think some people in the chat have seen it, but here. Okay. It sounds on, I think. Okay.
Oh my god. I'm leaving! Shit everywhere. There's shit everywhere! Damn it! There's shit on the windows! Oh my god! My house is full of shit! He's shit everywhere! There's shit all over the wall!
When can you do it? How about tonight at 8?
Great. Thanks. Thank you, Lloyd. I gotta go upstairs. You gotta leave. See you in 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's hysterical. That is
You weren't trolling, man. You weren't trolling.
no Marcus has been
Oh.
been in my chat, and he's been in a few other chats that I've been in. And hey Marcus, I want to say this to you publicly, and I will say this right now. There are times I am okay with people trolling, and there are other times when I'm not. Now, to give you some context as to why I've been kind of out of my normal jovial self, I hurt my back last week, and I have
Oh,
been
I'm sorry
on
to
a
hear
couple.
that.
Well, it's better now. I'm doing
Okay.
fine now.
That's
But the
good.
thing is, but let me clarify this for Marcus. I have, and for everybody else, I have been on a couple of different medications dealing with my back issues, and it has had an effect on me mentally. Now I'm clear headed, I'm and everything, but it made me a little more prone to be agitated. So, Marcus, if I came off as more combative with you, I am sorry. I don't hold any ill will towards you. Just know that it wasn't anything personal, but I was just not in the frame of mind to deal with trolling. So, know that you will always be welcome in my chat. You will always be welcome on my channel. And as I felt from one Marvel fan to another, I will always respect you. So, just to clear the air on that particular aspect, it wasn't anything personal, Marcus, towards you particularly. I was just in pain. I was on medication to deal with the pain, and it kind of altered my mental state to a slight degree. So, anyhow, moving on.
If you guys like Bob Saget, he does have a YouTube channel where he does a podcast on his YouTube channel. It's just Bob Saget. Type it in on YouTube and you'll find it. He actually did one like a couple weeks ago. I think.
Really?
Yeah, he actually has a. Yes, and he has a lot of good guests he had on the show. So
I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah. Let me see. When was the last show? Or last? What did I put? Bib Saget. Bib Saget.
Bib. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Stardust, Bib Saget. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the host of America's Funniest Home Videos, Bib Saget.
So his last YouTube channel, his last last video he made on his channel was 10 days ago with BJ Novak. Yeah.
I feel like I should know that
channel in
name.
the chat.
Okay.
BJ Novak from The Office.
That's it. Yeah. I love that show.
And he was in Spider-Man 2 as a the asshole boss to Electro. He was the one who told Matt Dillon. Max Dillon's the actor. But Max Dillon.
Well, yeah, I know who Matt Dillon is.
Yeah, yeah. He's the one. Yeah, he's the one who told he's the one who told Electro he had to stay overnight on his birthday, and you know what happened there. Becomes Electro.
Yeah, he fell into a tank of electric eels. You know, the crazy thing is, I had never watched TASM 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I only saw the first one.
First one's really good.
Excuse me. But I will say this: Jamie Foxx as Electro in No Way Home, he was so damn good. He really was. His here's the crazy thing about Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. None of these are necessarily evil men. I don't see them as inherently evil.
They're sick.
I would say I wouldn't necessarily say sick. I would say more so mentally unstable.
Oh, mentally unstable.
And
Yeah, yeah. I would say, yeah, I agree.
so, but that's I think one of the great strengths about Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, except for maybe a few exceptions. None of his Rogues Gallery are truly like outright evil. Doctor
No,
Octopus, Otto Octavius, he was not inherently evil. Max, Electro, was not necessarily inherently evil.
no.
Yeah, blended Braille, some of them I would agree with. Yeah, some of them were petty criminals.
I
So
mean, like, I mean, like, Shocker was always known as a thief, but like Shocker, like, they didn't. Yeah, Shocker was never gonna be a big time villain in the films. Rhino, if I know Rhino has a wife, I think he does it for his wife, if I'm correct.
mhm.
Um, I don't know what Shocker does it for. He just does it for money. I don't know what his motivation. Sandman always does this for his daughter. Doctor Octopus is because you know what happens. Doctor Green Goblin is because of his what happens. He has a multiple personality disorder. Electro, Lizard. I mean the Lizard. Like yeah, the Lizard's basically two different personalities, but one's a lizard, one's a human. Um, yeah. I mean Mysterio. I wouldn't say Mysterio's not inherently evil. He just got screwed over by Tony Stark because Tony Stark, with the invention that Quentin Beck came up with, Tony Stark eventually did use.
Well, but if you look at the comic book version of Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio, he was kind of he was now the thing is the original version of Mysterio had no connection to Tony Stark at all.
No, he's a con artist in the comics. He'll fool you.
Well, he wasn't so much a con artist. He worked in film. He did work in the film industry. He was a special effects supervisor or expert or whatever. They got messed over essentially, so he
Oh,
turned to crime
yeah.
to get revenge. And well, he was kind of like Riddler in that same aspect, where Riddler wanted revenge on his former employer, and he turned to crime to get his revenge. Yeah, Marcus, I did see I saw your comment, and thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You know what? Yeah, like Stark kind of screwed a lot of employees. I mean, let's be fair. I mean, he was treated like a hero, but some like he has screwed over people. That's how business is sometimes. If he's not
Yes.
a billionaire with screwing over people. Like let's be honest. Let's be honest. Billionaires do that. Millionaires do that too. Um,
Yeah.
Mysterio didn't want to really kill Peter, but he kind of had no choice. He wasn't like pure evil. Like he wasn't like and Vulture did not really. Vulture was like didn't really want to kill Peter. He just said he would if he had to. He just wanted to stop him, and he's thankful for protecting his daughter. And like Vulture, like when he accidentally killed the first Shocker, he was not happy about it because
Yeah.
he didn't want to kill anybody. He wasn't like
Yeah.
he wasn't murder. He wasn't a psychopath. I mean, he was more of a sociopath, but he just got screwed over, and he didn't really want to kill Peter, but
He's like, I will kill you if I have to, but don't
Yeah.
make me have to. And I will say this. I know Michael Keaton has had a resurgence in his career over the last few years, and I'm happy to see that because Michael Keaton has always been a very solid actor. I have to admit, I really enjoyed him as Adrian Toomes in in Homecoming. I really
Yeah,
did. I
Homecoming.
loved him as Vulture because here's the thing: he made Vulture relatable and understandable. Some people have said that the villains of the MCU have been kind of
boring, like bland,
degraded or something.
degraded,
But I,
or
I
don't have depth to the character. Like
I disagree. I think what they have done with a lot of these villains is to make them relatable because
yeah,
often the dilemmas that are brought up in these movies for the heroes if you look at the one episode of What If that deals with what if Tony Stark was saved,
By Killmonger.
if you if you
Yes,
take a
I
look at
heard
it,
you said that, Marcus. I remember you did say this.
yeah, I think I heard about that too.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember. Yeah. I'll talk about when it's confirmation.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say this, and then Aaron, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna probably bounce here shortly because
Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
got.
end. I didn't expect to go like 3 hours. To be honest with you.
Okay, okay. Well, I'll say this real quick, and then if you want to wrap up, you can wrap up.
Okay.
Um, what they've done with the villains for the MCU is I think they've added a level of humanity to them rather than just making them black and white vanilla bad guys. Because honestly, that's very boring.
Oh yeah,
And I think
the world destroying bad guys because I'm evil. And this one. Yeah.
you need to have some sort of moral or ethical dilemma
Yeah.
that really puts the heroes in a position where they have to consider what the hell they're doing. And I think what they've done with the villains across the board has been effective in that. So, but that's my thoughts.
Yeah.
So,
I think they did. I think at one point, it's okay. Actually, it's not really on topic, but Marcus, I think at one point, the villains in the MCU were kind of blah, blah, like kind of boring. They didn't focus on them too much. But I think it's gotten much better over the years.
I will say I would say at least for phase one,
Yeah.
the villains, except for maybe Mickey Rourke's villain in Iron Man 2, I would say Obadiah Stane was a
Yeah, I
good.
know.
I think he was a good villain for Iron Man. Red Skull, I think, was a good villain as well. I mean, of course, you had Hugo Weaving playing him.
It's
I think he was a really solid villain. I mean, obviously Loki, um, Ronan from Guardians Volume One. I thought he was very solid. Loki, obviously, again for Thor. Um, I think some of the villains for the first few phases of Marvel are kind of overlooked. I think there's a lot of depth to them, and I thought they were a lot better than what people gave them credit for. So,
okay.
but
Yeah.
that's my perspective.
I suspected MCU or Kevin Feige already has Reed and Sue cast already. Like he probably had them cast like weeks or months ago.
Probably.
I know
Kevin
my time to
Feige.
shine. Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna put it out here, guys. I don't think it's John Krasinski, and it's 100% not Emily Blunt. It's like, but yeah, I'm not surprised that Reed Richards is cast. I bet you Sue's cast, and you know what? A young Johnny Storm makes sense to me, and makes sense to me. And I hope they do have a Doctor Doom cast. I mean, would be just make him. I think my idea
Marcus,
for
I cannot wait to hear who they get to play. I think I'm gonna have to do some. I'm gonna have to do some Instagram posts because my collection of Marvel Legends figures has expanded over the last several months.
yeah, and Doctor Doom.
But
If my idea of Fantastic Four, if we're having a multiverse, how the Fantastic Four already established, and have Doctor Doom already established, and have like
yeah, because
Doctor
here's the thing.
Doom. Doctor Doom discovers the multiverse, and the Fantastic Four discover Doctor Doom knows this, and they have to follow Doctor Doom to the multiverse.
Oh, dude. Yes. Honestly, Doctor Doom has been a long time favorite villain of mine. I have loved that villain. I've loved the character, of course. I love the Fantastic Four, so ergo, I'm going to love Doctor Doom.
Yes.
But whoever they get, whoever they get to play Doctor Doom, I just, I will say this: there are aspects of Julian McMahon's performance as Doctor Doom from the 2000s
Yes.
Fantastic Four films that I actually did enjoy. There was parts of what he did with that character or his performance as that character that worked very, very well. There were other parts, not so much. But I hope whoever they get can really bring some bravado and some gravitas to that character because Doctor Doom is a big villain, and he is like a iconic villain of the Marvel universe. And I hope he isn't just a one-off villain. I hope this is a villain that is around for a long time
If
because
they make him a one-off villain, I would be so unhappy
I
with
am
that.
going
I
to
would
be
not.
I will be kind of disappointed if they do that
Yeah.
because Doctor Doom is too good of a villain for just one movie.
He has to be Loki-like.
Yes. Well, not so much that in that he's likable per se, because Loki kind of has a likable aspect to him.
I mean, like in a lot of
But-
films or a lot of stuff.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Like he has to play an instrumental
Yes,
role in the future
blinded,
MCU.
blinded. He has a lot of. You're not wrong there, because
I
if you really dig into the motivations of why Doctor Doom does what Doctor Doom does, it's actually kind of relatable and understandable. So, anyway,
You know what? I think we're gonna end it now. But yeah,
okay.
I mean, I know there's a lot. There's this about Full House and Bob Saget, but I kind of liked how we talked about different other stuff. I mean, it's fun too.
Yes.
Like, it was fun.
Yes.
But I'm gonna put your YouTube channel in here. So go follow Ambassador's channel. It's in the I put it in the comments. Go follow him. You know
Thank
I know you're doing Star Trek, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be. I've gotten a hold of Brian Master and None, and a couple. I think starting probably next week, we're going to be covering the new Trek movies.
Yes.
Trek 09, Into Darkness, and Beyond.
Yes.
And I think we're going to be doing some discussions on those.
I'm gonna look forward to it. I might join if you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't think they were a bad trilogy at all. Like I know some people love it.
You know, I saw 09. I really enjoyed it. I never watched Into Darkness. I finally got a chance to watch it at some point, and I kind of understood what they were doing. I can understand where people had critique about it, but for myself, I enjoyed it. And I never saw Beyond. I actually got all three of them on Blu-ray for cheap not too long ago, so I'm actually gonna sit down and rewatch all three of them before I do those streams. So,
Oh, maybe John. Like I'll just say this: if John, because there's people have this fascination, and then I'm gonna plug my stuff. Okay, fascination. Oh, if John Krasinski is Mr. Fantastic, Emily Blunt must play Invisible Woman. I'm like, no, you don't need married couples for everything. You know, you don't need that. It doesn't necessarily need to happen. Like seriously, why is always you know what? It kind of pisses me off when people think like that. You know?
yeah.
Like, it's stupid. It's really stupid. So yeah, thank you, Ambassador. Yeah, so yeah, go check out his channel. Yeah, for me, so Saturday I am gonna do Peacemaker 1, 2, 3. Peacemaker from 1, 2, 3.
Episode 1
So
through 3.
Yeah, 1 through 3. Spoiler review episode. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna anybody's not on. I'll put the link in the comments, of course. Ambassador, if you want to come on, you're free to come on. George,
Sure.
Lion Braille, if you want to come on. Marcus, if you want to come on, you can come on too. Anybody's allowed to come on. Talk Peacemaker. John Cena's leading role. You know, you can see him in this. Sorry. Yeah, I just had to say that. But you cannot see Superman. Oh my god. I'm gonna get flamed for that, aren't I? But yeah, so once again, check out Ambassador's channel. Check out
Thank
my
you,
channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. And before we go, this is how I feel about you guys. Where's that stupid little clip here? So yes, thank you once again. With that, the AWO and the ambassador is out. Too sweet is out. I can't believe I blanked on that.